So hey, I know that this week I was supposed to do another regular podcast like episode. That instead I'm not. I chose to do shorts this week instead of full on like a podcast like episode. um because that the topic and a big, well, I wouldn't say it was like the only topic, but one of the main talking points was going to be me talking about a traumatic event that I went through with my mom and other people, and me like trying to remind others that they're not all like alone in this. And and like that I realized, like, after talking to my trauma therapist, that I'm not quite like ready, like, I mean, like, I have been, despite my appearances, I've been letting my oppression get the better of me. Spending most of my time like in bed. Like, I know that for a bigger part of like last week that I couldn't. I was forced to get out of bed because I had to help my son get to and from school. So, that kind of, gave me like a reason, to get up out of bed. But since he's out of school right now, like, I don't have that same like push, I guess, and so because like I haven't fully dealt with it my own self, that I have maybe dealt with maybe like a tenth like of it, so with that being said, it's like I'm not quite like ready yet, to talk about it, you know um so that's why I had to make like the hard adjustment call this week, and not put out like a podcast like episode, because I'm just not all there. Um, like I'm just not, and no, I mean, like, it's like, it's like, I guess that I I mean, like, for me, like, th- this is therapy, and when like I'm not there like enough, like mentally, then I mean, like, I can't like talk about the things that are like actively like bothering me. Like, I mean, it's like, I think that at times, like, it's easy to like assume or to take things that for granted, that because somebody does like a weekly podcast that they're fine, like, I mean, for me, like, I know mine is based in mental health and all that, so I mean, so like, it's kind of like obvious, that um if I'm like alright or not, but I think that what I can do for my own self, like, this week is just to, just, uh, I try to be, like, mindful of what that I need, and, instead of just, attempting to push through, and when I know that I'm, like, I'm not even 50%, if I'm gonna be, like, honest, like, mentally, like, right now. Um, normally able to, like, still push through, and put out, like, a full podcast, like, episode for that week, regardless of what that I'm battling, because I pull, like, a lot of that, like, into the monthly mental health, like, video too. But this month, like, I I'm just not able to. So instead of, like, not, like, listening to my own needs, like, like, I'm gonna instead do something that is hard for me to do, and just, like, understand that right now the best thing that I can do is just take, like, a small break. Like, this doesn't mean it's gonna be for, like, ever. I mean, I'm still going to like, even if it's just, like, shorts, like, I'll do that, and I'll still do the, like, weekly, like, inspirational quotes, the monthly mental health, like, videos. But, like, I also know just how important that it is, just to be mindful of, like, our own needs, even though that I do overlook mine quite a bit, but I do want to, like, end this with saying, that for those of you, or for those of us who experienced, like, any of the severe storms, any of the tornadoes, any of the the devastation, like, any of it, like, firsthand, that you're not alone. It's like, it's not one of those things that we can just get over like, overnight. Like, it's not. And and like, I did want to share my own story, and that was, like, a huge, like, main topic, like, of this week's, like, episode, if I had put one out. And I'm not ready, to, like, actually talk about it, I mean, like, on that level, I mean, nobody hands us, like, blueprint of how to deal with traumatic event. you know, um, but I will say this, that if you know someone who has went through this firsthand, or even if you've gone through this firsthand, you know, just to know that you're not alone, to let them know that they're not alone, um, to let them know that you're there for them, you know, that you're willing to listen to them, like you're willing to help them in any way that you're able to, you know. um like I know, for me personally, that I would say the most difficult thing, or the biggest stab in the back, is when someone tries to tear down, or minimize what you went through, what you and what you had witnessed, what you experienced. Like, I mean, that hurts way more than than they know, you know. And and what hurts more is when they do it over and over and over and over again. It's almost as if to say, geez, you really didn't go through anything, because you're still alive, because you're still here. No, that's not how that thing works. I'm sorry, but it's not. You can't just say because somebody is still alive, or they're still here, that they didn't go through what they told you that they went through. Like, you know, I mean, that is so frustrating, and what that does is it opens the wound up more each and every single time that they do that. And to them, they're doing absolutely nothing wrong. But to you, that you feel that impact, you are forced to relive that each and every single time that they choose to minimize or to diminish what you went through. And I don't know. I mean, I think that could be probably part of the reason why this week I just had, just to say, hey, I'm not 100%, I'm nowhere close to that, to be able, to do a full podcast episode, I really would actually I want to, despite however long that this a video turns out to be, just, you know what, I will say this, just let's look out for each other, you know, take care of one another, you know. And until next time, that I hope everyone has a safe and a wonderful week.